Now this is some bull.
And another 3 for the ball! Oh, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm's here to help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Put your headset on.
What's going on here?
That ball fouled away by Jack Novak, leading off for the new Lenox Pumas. Murray batting second. Luchetto batting third. Kyle Smith alongside Kevin Macy. Ground ball to short. Picked up well. The snag. Safe. Infield hit for the Pumas as Novak on the infield hit.
Really nice scoop by Coyle there at first base, but when they get down the line that fast, there's really not any magic that you could use to get the runner out.
What are you doing? No. The lefty pitcher for Muskies and the pitch. In the inside corner for a strike. Beautiful day for baseball. A little hot. Other than that, though, beautiful. It's going to be a ground ball. This should be a double play. 6-4. Not a great throw. The 3 and a fielder's choice. And partner, those are the plays that you got to execute. In fact, shortstop for Beecher probably should have touched the bag and thrown it over to first.
Boy, they had it all down. They had second base covered, and like you said, I think when you're that close to second base, just stepping on it and making the throw, again, a really great play by Coyle at first base.
And the momentum takes you to first base anyways as you touch the base. Got to be careful. At this level, the base umpires will call balks, Kevin, so got to make sure it's 45-degree or less towards first base.
Trying to keep that base runner honest at first base.
Here we go. Pickoff attempt. Quick throw to second. And he was out of the baseline anyways. Tag out. That's a pickoff. 1-6 and 2 outs in the inning. Not good base running there, especially if the steal sign's not on.
No, the Muskies saw that one coming from a mile away, and
especially when you have the 3-hole hitter up. Okay.
When you've got a tall left-handed pitcher up, makes it all the more difficult there at the plate. But like you said, Kyle, it's a beautiful day for baseball. Little on the warm side. Might mean those balls might carry a little bit. But no wind.
Surprisingly, pitcher for Beecher is coming set with nobody on base. Swung on a miss for a strike, as we do have the electronic scoreboard activated today. I think he'll go with a fastball in the outer part here. Just barely got a piece of it. Luchetto hangs in there. Yes, that'll be ball 4. So Luchetto gets on via the 2-out walk, and would have been nice if that runner at first, Novak, was still on the base pass. He'd now be in scoring position.
Yeah, that's a difference maker. A single brings him in. Now you're going to have to do some hard work, and hopefully, you know, as a team, they've learned from that initial base running mistake.
That'll bring up the cleanup hitter in Jack McNamara. Or it might be Jack McNamel. One the count. Coming set. The 1-1. Just missed. You'd like to see the catcher bend those knees and expand the zone by framing that pitch a little bit better.
It's always helpful when you're not quite there.
Ground ball. This should end the inning. Instead, he'll go to first. 4-3 put out, and the pickoff hurts the Pumas. We go to the top of the second. 0-0 score.
So did okay. I was surprised you saw an inside pitch there. That's a good eye from this angle.
Leading off will be Coyle. That's in there for a strike on the outer part. It'll be Coyle, Sanders, Luttrell in this part of the order.
Coyle looks every bit of a cleanup hitter. He's stepped in, locked in.
Swung on a missed, but he did get a tip according to the home plate umpire, so we'll try it again. Only the catcher and the home plate umpire knows if it was a tip, and the catcher will always say the call should go his way. This will be a major league pop-up, easy catch. F9 if you're scoring at home, 1 up, 1 down.
Nice adjustment by Coyle there. He, on that foul tip, his head came up, and I was going to be, you know, give some advice there, but he made the adjustment on the next hit and you know, just hit it right to the right fielder.
As that's outside for a ball. This is really surprising, partner. Both pitchers like to come to the set position with nobody on base. Ground ball. This will be an easy put out at first. As the first baseman for the Pumas and Luchetto tells his fellow pitcher in Bellman to stay put. 2 up, 2 down.
Nice unassisted out, keeping the ball in front of him, and didn't have much of a challenge getting over there to beat the runner to first base.
That'll bring up Luttrell for the Muskies. Might be one of those 1-0 games. Still early, obviously, but both pitchers rolling right now. Ground ball, and it's gonna go foul. One of the men on the bench will get that for us.
Judging by the appearance of the batters and their confidence at the plate, I'm thinking we might see some runs, and so far we're seeing the ball pop off the bats. This could be an interesting one.
Outside for a ball. 2-1 count, nobody on. As Bellman rolling right now. You know, partner, some umpires might call that a strike, but that was definitely a ball. 3-1 in the catbird seat is Luttrell. Unless it's right down the middle, I think he's going to take here.
Yeah, we've got a tall batter at the plate there, but I wouldn't say quite that tall.
Yeah, that was a strike.
But that one was. That one you didn't need a ladder for.
And if you're a batter, stay in the box for another second and wait for the umpire to make the call. When you start running towards first before the umpire's made the call, some unplayed umpires don't like that. That one got good wood on it, but it's going to stay up in the air. And easy catch for the Muskies center fielder and Olszewski. So getting good wood on it was Luttrell, but not able to get the home run. And we go to the bottom of the second. No score.
That thing carried. It carried more than...
Make sure you mute the mic right away, because he thinks we're live right now. It's called a... Middle of the second. As up now for the Pumas will be their 5-hole hitter in Beadley Miller. Doing a good job on the mound is Shrek. This time he goes windup. As that swung on and missed for strike 1. 0-1 count. Shrek in a roll as well. Lays off that 0-1 pitch. 1-1 to Miller. And this is where the good hitters become the great ones, Kevin. That 1-1 count. Can you force the pitcher into a 2-1, 3-1 count? Can you rip something to the opposite field, or do you swing and miss here?
It's a pitch-by-pitch battle. That's the... those who appreciate that level of the game can understand it.
OPS goes up 100 points when the count's in the batter's favor, and then it goes down 100 when you get into 0-1, 1-2, 0-2. 2-2. You can throw a breaking ball here if you want, if you're Shrek. That ball, and he got good wood on it. As it'll be an out for The Muskies, 1 up, 1 down.
Well, this is a case of the pitchers are dealing well. The batters, when they're getting the bat on the ball, are making some really good contact. Not quite hitting them where they ain't just yet, but that could just be a matter of time.
In there for a strike, as it's Dimitri Spateharts, Jake Pettick on deck. Misses for a ball. Thought about it, but laid off, 2-1. And Kevin, in a game like this, every run matters. Third baseman playing fairly shallow. That ball got good wood on it, but it's going to be a fly out to left. 2 up, 2 down. I mean, they're getting good swings on it. They're getting the barrel on it, but not finishing.
Yeah, some good heads-up fielding there by the outfielders. They're getting to the ball and getting to the ball pretty quickly because, as you said, the ball's popping off the bat. And it could just be a matter of time before we get something in the gap or down the line that could spell trouble and kind of contribute to what you had mentioned being a 1 or 2 run battle of a game.
In there for a strike to Pettick. He's in left field today. Spateharts in right. As coming off the mound is the pitcher in Shirayek. That's a ground ball at first base. As the first baseman for the Muskies and Coyle says, it's my bag all the way. 3 up, 3 down. It's a pitcher's duel early on at Lincoln Way Central. No, 0-0 score as we go to the top of the 3. So make sure you're always muting.
I mean, this is almost about as good as it gets for twilight games.
Top of the 3rd, Kyle Smith alongside Kevin Macy. If you like pitchers duels, you'll like this one. If you like home run derbies and a lot of doubles and a lot of total bases, this is not the game for you, but we still have a lot of baseball to be played.
Not yet. Not yet. You know, the way we're seeing the hitters stepping up to the plate and having some really good at-bats, good hits, but again, some great fielding going on, so these pitchers are thankful for some of the support they're getting behind them. It's a beautiful day at a beautiful complex.
You have to do the top of the 3rd, 0-0 score as it's Mac up, 8-hole hitter, 9-hole hitter, then back to the top of the order. Thought about it, and he should have swung because it was a strike.
These can be some of the difference makers here at the bottom of the lineup. They could spark a little bit of a rally.
As that's inside for a ball.
I was waiting for you to ask me if I hit at the bottom of the lineup, Kyle.
We all know you did. You just take one look at you. Yep, 8-hole.
I was in 8 and sometimes 9. Sometimes 9. I was pretty speedy on the baths, but I don't have that speed anymore.
That was the leadoff hitter for most of my career. A lot of bunting, a lot of Nellie Fox style of baseball.
Stolen bases leader?
For a time, yeah. And that's going to get to the outfield for a base hit. That's a good way to start for the Pumas. They got the leadoff man on in the first inning, then a pickoff, and that ended the rally. And that was a tough one, Kevin, because they got a 2-out walk. If not for the pickoff, they would have had runners at first and second with 1 out. Instead, the pickoff play, 2 outs, nobody on, and the 2-out walk went for nothing.
Yeah, now they want to make this count. A leadoff single, and just like we had mentioned here, sparking a little bit of a start here, and we'll see what the Muskies can do with it.
There's the bunt. No choice but to go to first with it. And it was a little bit awkward as he stretched for that ball. He went with his opposite foot and made it harder than he needed to do for the Pumas, as getting to the bag was the second baseman in McDowell.
Yep.
Nope, sorry, the first baseman, Luchetto.
Yeah, and they had a really good opportunity there. I think that I don't think Brian Anderson, or as Twig as he was affectionately dubbed, the advanced scout for the White Sox, he spent so much time teaching those players how to just absorb the ball with the bat on those bunts. After all, he made a career out of bunting. He claims that he would never have been able to be in the major leagues if he didn't master the art of the bunt.
Is it the same Brian Anderson that played center field for the White Sox?
No. This is a much older version of Brian. That was B.A., who I think his partying lifestyle caught up with him a little bit.
As it does for a lot of ball players. 0-2. Up, you got to hunker down and get a piece of it here. He has a job to do, either get the base hit or hit it to the right side. Oof, that was close. It is a major league strike zone, so that's what makes this league different than when you played your high school ball. Major league strike zone today at the high school level, that's probably a strike. High school, it's baseball on each side of the plate. Major league.
Thanks for keeping me honest. Brian Little.
Yeah, you blew that
probably
one.
collected his double baseball card quite a few times.
So BL, and then, of course, Brian Anderson was in center field for the White Sox from 2005 until, I believe, 2009.
They had high hopes for him.
They've had high hopes for a lot of players, as have the Cubs. That one's hit to the outfield, but it stays up in the air. Should be an easy catch, and is. And I kind of disagree with that, partner. I know that these players play college ball. Some of them are playing D2 and D1. But with the way this ball game is going, I would consider possibly tagging on that play. It was close to the warning track. What say you?
Well, I think that an aggressive coaching style would, want to play some grinder ball, try to advance those runners. At this level, I think that everybody's kind of making a name for themselves, at every position, whether it's the manager, the coach, or the players themselves.
The old saying goes, you don't want to make the third out at third base, but it's those unwritten rules of baseball that I don't always agree with. Coming set, and here comes the pitch from Bellman.
So you would not be one of those managers that's there with the iPad in the dugout, analyzing the data. You go with the TWTW, the instinct.
Well, I mean, there are some things, but like these unwritten rules that some managers always go with. I think on a play like that where the center fielder's backing up to the warning track, as that's in there for a ball. If it was, 4-0, you're down by 4, or you're up by 4, then no. But with it being a 0-0 game and hits being very limited today, I would have definitely considered it.
Yeah, I think circumstances suggest a lot. And like you mentioned, just the fielder backpedaling, he's not in a great position to make a throw. And if you've got speed on the base paths, that's a
right.
healthy risk to take.
The way it usually goes, your best arm's in right, your second best arm's in center, and then usually he's in there for his bat, not necessarily his glove in left field. So, when it's hit to center, now every center fielder's different a little bit. Ken Griffey could just throw anybody out, as could before he got hurt in the running back from Auburn. Then he played for the Royals.
Oh, Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson, yeah.
Well, what did he throw from the wall to home plate, a strike?
Hard to believe he was in right field, but he was so fast, you got to have him in center. And he was a great leader, too. You want your best leader of the outfield to be in center field.
Not too many arms can do that. I know Albert Bell did it one time down the left field line, which actually kind of breaks your theory there. I guess an anomaly of a left fielder having one of the strongest arms in the outfield. And Ichiro Suzuki, don't forget,
he was in right.
True.
And then, of course, Al Kaline in right.
Oh, yeah.
Vladimir Guerrero.
Yep, you want your...
And that'll be it for the inning. So the Muskies threaten. They decide not to tag, and it might have cost them a run. Meanwhile, we go to the bottom of the third. 0-0 score.
A deal for me?
A deal for everyone!
17 East Van Buren Street, Joliet, Illinois.
It works.
Bottom of the third, no score. What do you mean you need a battery? Killing me, Smalls. Get you one. Okay. One up, one down, easy ground ball, as Hawk Harrelson would say, chopper to hopper.
Yeah, we were discussing a little bit about how these pitchers have kind of taken control with their first pitch placement, and that's helping keep their pitch counts down. And again, the balls are being hit to the players.
They are not hitting them where they ain't. They're hitting them where they are, and that's leading to outs for the pitcher. 2 up, 2 down, 2 pitches, 2 outs.
You know, you don't need a pitch clock at this level, but when you're playing at this pace, everybody's keen on the pace of play for sure.
So Mickey McDowell made the first out, and then Jack Coluzzi, and that's back to the top of the order, and Novak. Swung on miss for strike one. It is going speedingly along today. We started at 7 o'clock, right on the dot. It's now 7:35 in the bottom of the third with 2 outs. That one's hit to the outfield, and it's going to drop. He's going to split the gap. Will it get to the warning track? It won't, as it was briefly touched that time by Gayton. But a 2-out triple. Beautiful job by Novak, player of the game thus far, as Novak with the triple. And Parter, he maybe took not the greatest route to the ball in right field, as he had to dive for it and still wasn't able to handle it, and allowed the leadoff hitter in Novak to get to third base.
No, I think his angle was off, but I think that his decision to leave his feet was probably the more detrimental mistake, because if you play that caroming off the fence or even chasing it down, you have a cleaner pickup and toss in. You may have been able to keep that runner at second.
Novak has the best bat today, as he's 2 for 2, but with 2 outs. You know, partner, even though it's only the third inning, your 2-hole hitter is sometimes your best bunter. Maybe you lay down a infield hit bunt here. As that just missed for a ball. Remember, it's Major League strike zone. High school level, that's a strike. Here, it's a ball. Lichetto on deck, first base open if he falls behind here. Swung and a miss. You got to squeeze that. 1-2.
I like the bunt idea as an element of surprise.
You can't do it well. You could, but it'd be very risky with 2 strikes.
But you are, as you look around at the field right now, the fielders for the Muskies are back.
As that one's hit up in the air, and it's going to find its way foul territory. Bounces off the tennis courts, and a souvenir for Grayson. What do you want to throw here on 1-2, Kevin? Breaking ball or high fastball?
Well, I think that the way these batters have been expecting things, I think you throw some heat.
Went with the breaking stuff.
Not at all what he chose, but keeps
always
better.
Risky with a runner at third, but if you trust in your catcher, you throw that slider, you throw that curveball. I'm thinking an inside fastball, see if he jams him. Oh, you got to wear that, kid. Base runner, right? That's what Craig Biggio used to do.
That's sacrificing yourself for your team.
Got to get that on base percentage up.
Although it may not improve the situation, but
that one's hit to the outfield. Will it drop? And it will. RBI single, and not the best route in right field by Gayton. Allowed Novak to get to third, and it hurts the Muskies on the scoreboard. That being said, if it was at second, with the outfielders playing back like that, he still probably would have scored on the blooper.
Yeah, boy, what a great at bat. He battled it out, and that did help the situation to put it right where they weren't, and nobody was even able to get up to it.
So Lichetto up. He walked in the bottom of the first. Another pickoff play. It's got a nice move. It's not fast, but it's very deceptive. It's got good size for the pitching position as well. Muskies trailing by 1. And the only run of the game came in this inning. It just came the last batter via 2-out single. Lichetto up, and they've got McNameel on deck. In their first strike. 1-1 count. There is a humongous gap in left center. Another pickoff play in there safely. And partner, if it gets the gap, I think you would want to send him home, wouldn't you? You get a secondary lead, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. In their first strike.
If that ball is hit hard, yeah, I think that if you're on the base paths here, you want to definitely turn it into another gear.
You don't want to leave runners on base if you can avoid doing so.
Yeah, with 2 outs, you don't want to leave somebody left on third.
At the same time, you don't want to get thrown at the plate, but you can't be too conservative. The other problem is both teams just have not had a lot of base runners today. Got to take advantage of your opportunities. As that's just misses for a ball. Runner will go on the pitch, and this makes it more advantageous for the third base coach to send him. If it's hit to right center, definitely going to send him. If it's hit to left center, it's up to the third baseman's judgment. And another walk for Lichetto. He is 0 for 0 with 2 walks. Look up, yeah. 1-2. And partner, I think at this level, this is just my guess, but we've seen pitchers that come set with nobody on. I think they're doing that to work on their slide step. I mean, you can work on it as much as you want in the bullpen and at practice, but best way to get used to it is in a game situation.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if there really hasn't been any kind of an obvious explanation for why they're going from the set versus the windup, but they might very well be coached to get some additional reps in the game, like you said, where the most value can
Right.
be
You got to work
thrived.
on that slide step to make sure that the runners don't get great secondary leads on steals. 0-2 advantage for Schierick. And this will most likely be our last inning of our free sample. 0-2, huge gap in left center. That's outside for a ball.
Now this batter with the left-hander up, I can see the center fielder shaded a little bit to right field, but that was his placement, even with the right-handed batter up, which we'll see how this plays out.
Just missed, ball 2. You got Miller on deck, the DH. McNamara's last at bat, he grounded out to the second baseman. 2-2,
Now
two men
anything
out.
to the outfield scores a run, regardless of whether it hits the gap or not.
Swung on and missed, strike 3. So the Pumas threaten and they do score a run. The damage is done. We appreciate everybody watching our free sample today. For our excellent crew, for Noah White, Tyus Smith, Kevin Macy, I'm Kyle Smith, and we'll see you next time on SBS, the broadcasting network for everyone.